All right, family. All right. Hey, welcome back and welcome in to the podcast. Again, a live version here on TikTok of A Different View podcast that you can find on Pandora and Apple at A Different View. The artist's name is KJ, same as myself here right now. And you can also find it on YouTube at A Different View. Again, the at symbol, A Different View 80, the number, not the word. 80. I want to clarify that because sometimes people will get confused on that. Once you get on that channel, you're going to see there's a folder that says a different view, like 200 some odd different messages, sermons, however you want to look at it. Again, we like to play around with, again, your boy is Christian, but again, many of the tenets, like the core ones we believe in, but some of the other in application by which church function operates, I do not agree with. I think we need to have an honest conversation at that point. Before we go any further, just let your boy mute the sound. This way you're not hearing a whole bunch of buzzes and whistles, so my apologies on that. Again, today's topic, we're going to continue in and on the line of the word bear. I did not go over it last time for time's sake, and again, we're gonna keep it short. We're gonna keep it brief. There's no real reason. Shout out to the sister on TikTok who does that Friday talk, right? Black sister, and she's like, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna talk for a minute, but we're gonna keep it brief, right? And she's sipping tea and all that. Shout out to you, sis. I don't remember your name, but my apologies. Very impactful things. Messengers and informers. The way it says it in the Bible is the watchmen. And again, we like to say that this is the Sunday message. So we kind of take a little cue from the preacher on these days, maybe to bring some light and some clarity. For those who do not believe in Christianity, I always like to say it this way: it's good to peer in the window a little bit, think and see different things, just to get just get a little sampling, right? Because one group is not all the same, right? Let's say that again. One group is not all the same. Unfortunately, lately, with the uptick in intercultural marriages and dating relationships, right, for some odd reason, we're putting each other. And unfortunately, this is to the fault. Again, we said this is a different view podcast, right? So if you don't believe in it, we get it. There's a lot of platforms that'll tell you the other thing. So be it. Again, like, share, and subscribe this to folks, because again, we're gonna go in. We don't do dancing. We don't do a lot of bells and whistles. This is just raw truth as I have learned it, things that I've seen, and as we go forward, we share with people as I learn. That's how this goes, right? Again, getting back on the topic of the word bear, or to bear, technically, not like a bear in the woods. This idea that, and I just watched this video, which it bothers me on a certain level, because I don't know, so-called black people are looking for, and again, I say so-called because it's distinctions. White and black were distinctions made up, if I'm not mistaken, in the 1700s, maybe in a little bit before that. And before that, it was where you came from. Hey, you Italian? Yeah, you came from Italy. Where you Palermo? You know what I mean? Naples? Where you came from? You from Venice, Rome? Oh, okay, so you Italian, right? They even go further, call you Roman, right? Or Venetian, so on and so forth, right? That's the same way all across the planet. And then all of a sudden, for distinction purposes, to be able to split up stolen bounty, because that's what this land had to do with, okay? From the various people groups that were living on these lands that they don't talk to you about. They want to make it sound like it was an empty, vacant lot, like some, parking lot somewhere where they build a retail store. No, that was not the case, okay? You want to talk about genocide, man, what you're watching in the Middle East and in Eastern Europe, that pale in comparison to a lot of this mess that formulated where we live at. Again, football season going to be starting up, and we're going to be doing a whole lot of worship in the brazen idol. Come on, somebody. Right, this to the Christian for one time. We're going to be doing a whole lot of that. We're going to be standing up. We're going to have the hand over the heart, and nothing toward the Almighty Maker. It's going to be toward Almighty United States. That's what it is. This is what it's always been. Bear one another's burdens, family. That word to bear means to support. We do not support each other's burdens. In the case of our interracial community, and I use words that people use, right? Again, it's your garden, it's your life. You're talking about black life is involved there, but for some odd reason now. And, I was reading Message to the People by Marcus Garvey. Very powerful and impactful stuff that the brother had to say. But just like anything, we either agree or we disagree with some things. I think it is a danger. While we recognize people groups that are at the head of the table, right? I'm a wrestling fan, so we'll use this little Roman Reigns thing here. See, because the same thing goes on in the Samoan family group, aka tribe, right? Because a tribe's a family, okay? Group of people, right? This is what the definition is. Where at the end of the day, you either know those who are the scar in your family, right? Shout out the Lion King one time. We ain't gonna sit here and act like a whole ass other group of people. They're the bad guy. To our Caribbean brothers and sisters, specifically Jamaican, those who are the rogue in the family, the group that keep up the mischief maker. In that, I know Muslim brothers and sisters will disagree and only say that it is the so-called white person. We get it, right? But we're just saying and identifying what's going on around the planet, and I'm not even saying that it's coming from association to the so-called white person. We are saying it is bad and good in each person, not learned. There's two ways by which we screw up in life. One is by this bad and good thing we deal with inside. The other is from what we are taught, whether by what we see or literally through the spoken word, what we are taught, which is why we need to study, just like what your Bible says. We like doing that every once in a while too, because again, some of this is a joke. When we and I'm not taking away from the spiritual nature of a thing. Understand that, right? But we're talking about where some of this is just a joke. We're running around hollering, where I'm at right now is 1 something in the afternoon, right? Some people it might be 2, right? On the West Coast, it might be, 3 hours back, whatever it is, whatever time you at, right? But at some point, we hollering, we busting it down. I mean, we running around, all kinds of stuff, and we losing that weight too, to only go and then eat poor food afterwards. This is a struggle for us all now, right? Me, you included. So this is not talking down. We just talking about what's going on in life, y'all, right? If we want to come up higher, we're going to have to think and operate higher, and truthfully said a statement. We are a people who do not think. We believe a bunch of stuff. We feel a bunch of stuff. Nothing against those things. We are not thinking it through. Yet your Bible says, right? Yeah, right? It's telling you that you have been given a sound mind, love, ability, and a sound mind. It's time we use it. In the areas of health, it's time we use it. Do the opposite Master either gave you or taught you. So all that fried chicken and all that fat back, unless you have it at certain times of the year and in small numbers, switch off to grilled, roasted, right, baked foods. That ain't the white man's food. That's just food. And it's the same mentality that is behind this interracial battle. Massa told you that there's a certain kind of blood quantum and one drop theory. And that actually really is a theory, because the last I checked, especially as I look at all these different pictures here of people who join in on this live, right? We're looking at faces of humans. God help somebody. We're looking at faces of humans, family. Now, we all have the responsibility to learn a thing. We all do. Unfortunately, you got some folks, again, at the head of the table who are okay telling you one superior to the other. And as long as you got a belly button in the middle of that body of yours, we are human. Again, I must reiterate, this is not making an excuse for those who mean to X folks off the planet. That's a difference. And it's not all of them. You know, unfortunately, sometimes, we've gone over this on the podcast, the word rant. Because we like to hide, Lord. We like to escape and hide from some mess, man. Family, I tell you what. That's why we believe so much. We believe in like all the different spookisms sometimes that certain people will say about life, because we try to escape from the realness of it. At the end of the day, ain't no manna from heaven coming down to save us on this one, y'all. Right? We keep looking for this. Too many of us got our bags packed. We're on the side of the road. Unfortunately, this is some mess from the 80s, from the televangelists and so on and so forth, right? Jesus coming back. Even if you believe in this, y'all, there's still work to do. You're told to occupy. Yo, how silly we look. You look up that word occupy now. You think that's just spiritual stuff? That's in this life. We're supposed to be defending love, family. Love, ability with a sound mind. Very complicated. As a Dallas Cowboy fan, Boy Nation one time, right? We ain't, you can miss me on a lot of the generalizations, okay? At the end of the day, a poor run football team is a poor run football team, whether it's America's team or not, right? You can believe that the team is going to do good this year, but at the end of the day, when it is not set up for success, guess what you're going to have? A short season. And that's what it looks like, family, with us out here, especially with it being Labor Day weekend. Shout out to the worker one time, right? Hopefully the clap sound came through. If it didn't, we'll hit the cheer one time. Family, right? This is not talking down against the boss. We're just saying, because any one of us could own something and we should profit from it. By the time you got that worker there, family, it's time we start giving better credit. And we don't, right? This is the part in the game when normally the defenses come up way high, the brain shuts off, and you go back to your pre-programming. People groups can't be together. So wait, am I supposed to be around the people group that's okay shooting each other at barbecues, which will probably happen? I hope it don't, right? We pray it don't. But more times than not, from the statistics we are providing that they are studying, because all the numbers aren't twisted. This is them telling you there's a good chance bunch of you Negroes get around each other, you're gonna shoot each other. A couple of years ago, it was like 400 some odd deaths and shootings in Chicago. Anybody remember looking at that online? Something you can look up. That's just Chicago, right? We know the inner city is made for this kind of mess, which you would think at this point we'd get away from that. You would think at this point we get away from that stuff, right? And thank y'all, family, for coming in, right? But we don't. We don't. Matter of fact, see, talking about this intercultural thing, you'll make fun of folks who want to leave the ghetto. Man, God help us, yo. They're using their good sense and the warning and the alarm on the inside that fools is around them. I need to get away from that. You make fun of people like that. That's what we do. You talk about crabs in a tub, man. Yo, you're looking at crabs in a tub. And there's listen. For those who don't believe in the thing, one thing that you can see and study by the laws of nature and this universe, you can clearly see the effect when you don't care about your brother and sister at work. You can measure it. Stank eye everywhere. Nobody helping nobody. Differentiate us from massa if we're doing the same thing they're doing. Why we keep talking that? Look. The white woman can't be around the black man, right? Come on now, somebody. While they were still screwing each other in the shed back during plantation days, right? We ain't talking about nobody trying to steal somebody's wife. We're talking about the natural law of attraction, But I digress. We can keep going around calling each other weak and tired and all this weird stuff that you see on TikTok, these different videos going around. Listen, people are attracted to people. And unfortunately, because of racism and imperialism, it's put a colored light, check that out, right? It's put a colored lens on how we deal with each other. Again, Mr. Musk being okay throwing up the Nazi symbol of salute symbol at a presidential inauguration, like we didn't see that, right? We get it, that there is a group at the head of the class. To be that simple in the mind. See, again, we can believe a thing, and I get that. Going back, the word rant. The word rant deals with something like, for those who played the game The Last of Us, where they just sit, them clickers and all these different characters, right? They're just sitting there clicking and twitching, kind of like what you see when somebody is high on meth, right? And they just rant, y'all. Again, we're talking the definition of it. I'm adding my own flair to it, but that's the definition of it. Nonsense. Ain't nobody talking nonsense. We're talking about how humans interact. And it's unfortunate that this is how humans interact. When we have been made better than this. We put these distinctions because Massa put them on us. And we still trying to play their game. That don't work that way. Same thing with the economy. I just seen a sister on TikTok, the rancher. Shout out the rancher and the farmer one time. Where the Negro was. Forcefully, by the way. Shame we don't go back to it. It's almost like we look at our our griggity greats and our mamas and stuff like that, like they was weird for breaking the neck of a chicken. I apologize right now for what trigger this might be, but we're just talking the truth now. Did y'all know when you look up how many companies own a lot of the food and stuff you eat? It's just a certain amount. It's not a lot. So when you had coronavirus outbreak the way it was, and whatever else they decide to do when they close the doors, what's going to happen? Because we don't know and honor life and energy that comes between us sitting in a chair, or us sitting in a car, or us sitting at home, or there was stuff here pulled from the planet family to make these things. But we don't look at them in that light. You know why? Because we greedy. Sisters, right? Halal. How you kill an animal. Because you need to eat, family. The last I checked. Right? We all do, right? But in how we do this thing is what's most important. Shout out to our native brothers and sisters. There's a lot of people who believe certain things about this earth that those who do not have put away from us, so that we stop thinking and treat this thing properly. Another one of these things in the Bible is this idea of dressing as the job. That's the purpose. For anybody, because I always get into these conversations with folks trying to help people, and that one really helped me to understand what this is. So again, as we learn past the different days and what firmaments are made and what split from what, and you get right to the part there where the planet is moving and the dew is there, so that you already got your nap. For most of us that are going to get mad, especially as the season changes here and the ground is the grass is wet. And we don't like stepping in that. We got to walk our dog in the morning and all that, right? Come on, somebody. That's nature's natural, okay? That was all done before the humans were there. You reread it. We ain't going to put no extra to nothing. We saying exactly what we're reading, okay? Whether it be through art. And art is a broad term. So we're talking music. We're talking movies. We're talking dancing. We're talking cooking. Cooking is... right? Man, how we have all missed it. It's rough. It's rough to think of it. This is why we are okay working. They keep working job after job because it was the only way they made it. But it was the only way they made it under Massa's system. How can you have people who talk on different tax bracket things, and European Revolution? But I digress, right? Of course, what's wrapped in there is the taxes. And ain't it funny now how people's taxes still screwed to this day? This is another reason why I can clearly say that this is just Europe 2.0 over here. Camps, excuse me, I mean boarding schools. Any dark skin tone folks was up on Massa's plantation. Of course, we know when we read Columbus's diary that they pulled slaves from on the North American continent. Time to have somebody else whip you into shape, literally. Somewhere along the line, this is how they were making money, by the way. Hours you was working Labor Day? Go back and look. Go look up the history of Labor Day. One record tells you like 14 to 16-hour days, y'all. And people that effort, though, the way we say it, and in actuality, what it is, or what it looks like, is two different things. We had a good shout session on the reason why we running around that church, man, burning off them calories for Jesus. Anybody have your after service party, right? Do we have any pita bread and stuff from our do we have any, whole wheat carb stuff in there, man? Do we come on, right? You got fools of people who want to sit there and take your money from you. Have we looked at our deductibles, y'all? This thing is wild, man. How much extra money you have to spend before the real thing kicks in? And again, the whole time we sitting here on some petty mess. That brother shouldn't be with he got mayonnaise on that's another one of these TikTok things. They got mayonnaise on them. I know we try to justify it. We do it again, escape. That's the point. We don't. We're going to have to stand up for each other and band together to do this, family. I know individualism is a thing. Definitely your individual, how you look at life. That's to the extent of screwing the rest of the planet around you. When you begin to believe in a thing, that nothing else matters but you. This is why we said this a while ago on the podcast as far as selfishness goes. Another person's, listen, you can look just as simple as car insurance, which again, certain places of the world are going to have pretty, as the season change, fall is in between, right? Last I checked, right? Fall. When winter hits, it's supposed to, certain ones of the things here, they say that the winter is supposed to be worse this year. Okay. We'll see, right? Time will play it out. But when it comes to, and we all ice skating on and not having, we give so many excuses and they take it with it. And listen, the Bible already told you they're going to make merchandise of you. So you're going to be, we family going to be the cover child for somebody slipping and sliding on the road when we shouldn't even be on it to begin with. See, that's got nothing to do with solidarity. Trudging through treacherous terrain, crashing your car, that's on top of bad driving habits, which we are all subject to. This thing don't work like this. Things don't happen when it's just one person out there. They didn't, listen, imperialists, use words that people identify with. Imperialists did not take these lands onesies and twosies. That wouldn't even made sense. I like to been gone, and yet you still seen them Nazis marching in Ohio earlier this year, didn't you? Man, it's dead and gone. People, I am in the midst. Now, if that principle, how people think, if it works in the positive, family, as above, so is beneath. Believe that. We gonna have to each other because we got some pushy people out here, man. It's like, certain parts of the country when you travel it, man, like some of these houses, you got a lot of land out here, and some of these houses real close together. I don't need to know what y'all are doing, right? We need enough space. So, and of course, Cat Williams jokes on the whooping the babies and whatnot, and we ain't sure. But you need to have enough space to give your baby a good ass whooping without me hearing it. These houses are too close together, right? You need a little bit of space, and there's more than enough land. You know what I mean? Right? But again, these things happen as we stand up for it. They're standing up for theirs. When do we stand up for ours, y'all? Right? That's where I'm gonna stop this Labor Day weekend again, calling cannabis today, right, family? That's gonna be going on. So we're gonna let y'all go on real quick and just say a thing again. Share, like, subscribe. This is your boy again. We on Apple, we on Pandora, we on Spotify, we at YouTube, right? And as always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.